The Lord has come down to rescue and to deliver. This week's lesson is called Signs of the True God. This is coming from Exodus chapter 7. This is Unit 4, Lesson 11. And we're going to Exodus chapter 7. I'm going to read the first part of the chapter, but the entire chapter is the basis of our Sunday school lesson for this week. Hear the word of the Lord. And the Lord said to Moses, "See, I have made you like God to Pharaoh, and your brother Aaron shall be your prophet. You shall speak all that I command you, and your brother Aaron shall tell Pharaoh to let the people of Israel go out of his land. But I will harden Pharaoh's heart, and though I multiply my signs and wonders in the land of Egypt, Pharaoh will not listen to you. Then I will lay my hand on Egypt and bring my host, my people, the children of Israel, out of the land of Egypt by great acts of judgment. The Egyptians shall know that I am the Lord, when I stretch out my hand against Egypt and bring out the people of Israel among them." Moses and Aaron did so. They did just as the Lord commanded them. Now Moses was 80 years old, and Aaron 83 years old, when they spoke to Pharaoh. Then the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, "When Pharaoh says to you, 'Prove yourselves by working a miracle,' then you shall say to Aaron, 'Take your staff and cast it down before Pharaoh, that it may become a serpent.'" So Moses and Aaron went to Pharaoh and did just as the Lord commanded. Aaron cast down his staff before Pharaoh and his servants, and it became a serpent. Then Pharaoh summoned the wise men and the sorcerers, and they, the magicians of Egypt, did the same by their secret arts. For each man cast down his staff, and they became serpents. But Aaron's staff swallowed up their staffs. Still, Pharaoh's heart was hardened, and he would not listen to them, as the Lord had said. This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. Now this is really amazing, this beginning part right here. I have made you like God to Pharaoh, and your brother Aaron shall be your prophet. Here's Moses, the prophet to God, and God is now setting up a very similar relationship in order to go into Pharaoh, that the word of the Lord might be proclaimed to him, and that great signs and wonders may be accomplished among the Egyptians. And this is going to lead to 10 plagues. And you see the plagues all in a row now here, starting in chapter 7, but then moving on through the chapters. And you may want to write them up on the chalkboard or the whiteboard, right? The first plague, the water of the Nile becomes like blood. Turns to blood. The second plague is the frogs. The third is gnats. The fourth is flies. The fifth is the Egyptian livestock dies. The sixth are boils. The seventh is hail and fire. The eighth is locusts. The ninth is deep darkness. And then the most famous of them all, the 10th is the death of the firstborn in all of Egypt. And we call this the Passover because the Lord saved the people of Israel when they put the blood of the lamb on their doors and passed over them when he came to destroy the firstborn of each house. Now, the Lord commands Aaron and Moses to do this. When Moses is 80, Aaron is 83. This is amazing, right? And the Lord is going to sustain them throughout this ministry. In fact, when we learn of Moses' death at the end of Deuteronomy, we hear that his vision was unabated and his strength was still consistent. So the Lord had sustained him in all ways, and that's some 40 years later. So he's 120 years old. The Lord takes care of these things, and he is the one that's directing our lives. We can talk about this with our kids. Now, the other thing is that when the Lord comes and reveals himself to Moses to reveal himself to the people of Israel, he says that his name is I am who I am. Now, this is going to fly in the face of the Egyptians as they come at Moses and Aaron with all of their different arts and their own gods. And we'll see that each one of these or we could see that each one of these plagues are actually attacking another one of the gods of Egypt. And I can send some things out to show you the parallels and which gods that was and those kind of things. But each time it is Aaron and Moses claiming to serve the God whose name is I am, or maybe even more pointedly, the God whose name is He is. And that's a dig, right? If our God's name is He is, then that means that your God is not. Okay, and that's really important. And this is the He is who comes down to save you because He knows your afflictions, He's heard your cries, and He knows your sufferings. And so He comes to you and to me and to the children under our care. We know that God is able to help us. Catechism connection here, the first commandment. We know the other gods that we place and that we create and we put them all around us. There is but one living God, that He is. We might also connect to the section on baptism, for this is when God is actually claiming us and helping us, applying the gifts of His cross to us, that we would have life and have it to the full. All right. I hope you enjoy the study of this week's text, Exodus 7. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. God's peace to you all.